What's up, everybody? This is DJ Endo. I'm the DJ product specialist for Native Instruments and an instructor here at Dubspot. Today I'm going to show you guys the new Traktor Kontrol S4. The Traktor Kontrol S4 is the world's first software and hardware DJ system. If you look here, you can see I have a fully integrated 4-channel mixer. I have 24-bit 96 kilohertz sound card built inside the hardware, and the Traktor Pro S4 software. Today you just show up with the Traktor Kontrol S4, plug in a USB cable, RCA cable, bring your laptop, and you're ready to rock. So let's take a look at the controller. You see we have a 4-channel mixer, so we can run 4 decks, and each channel has its own dedicated 3-band EQ, low, mids, and highs, as well as its own dedicated filter, which you can actually make sound either like a Pioneer DJM 800 filter or the Zone 92 filter in the Traktor preferences. And you can see I have 4 channel faders as well as a crossfader, and I can assign each deck separately to the crossfader just by holding Shift and pushing on the effects buttons. So I'm going to assign deck A to the left crossfader and deck B to the right crossfader. Now you can see that when my crossfader is to the left and my volume faders are up, you can see this on-air button is lit up. That means that deck A, which is highlighted, is on air, and you're going to be able to hear it through the sound system. Now if I move my crossfader to the right, you see the on-air button is on for deck B. Now if I turn the volume fader down, it turns off the on-air button. So the on-air button is dependent on the crossfader and the volume faders. Now I have a Q button above the volume fader that'll let me listen to the tracks in my headphones. And then you can also see that I have a gain knob for each channel, so I can adjust the gains accordingly. And when a track's playing, you can actually see that the LEDs light up in each channel, so I can actually adjust the gain until the volume is just under red. So with the Traktor Kontrol S4, all of the mixing is actually done inside of the computer, and I'm using the controller with Traktor's high definition MIDI protocol to control all the EQs, the decks, and everything inside of Traktor. So if you actually record your set using the Traktor Kontrol S4, your sound quality of your recordings is going to sound amazing because all the recording is inside the computer, so every track you play is going to have the same quality as it was originally produced. So now I'm going to talk about the decks in Traktor. So if I want to scroll through my tracks, I can do it a few different ways. First way is to actually turn this browse knob here, and that'll go through my tracks. So I can scroll through my tracks using the browse button. If I want to pre-listen to the tracks before I load them into the deck, I can click on the browse knob, and it will load the tracks into Traktor's preview player. And if I want to load a track, I can just load it into a deck by clicking on the load buttons. I just click on the load button, and this will load into deck A. And this load button will load into deck B. Now if I wanted to load into deck C or D, I just click on the deck C button. You can see that the letter C is highlighted, or the deck D button, letter D is highlighted. Now, if I'm using 4 decks, I like to use browse mode. So if I click on this browse button, all the decks are going to collapse, and I can just see my tracks with a minimized version of the decks at the top. So now I'll turn this knob to go through my playlists, and I can also use this knob to scroll through my playlist favorites. So I'm going to find the playlist that I want to play out of. I'm going to scroll through my tracks and find the tracks that I want to use. I'm going to load up Satellite into deck B by clicking on this blinking Q button above the letter B. And I'm going to load up Eggbox into deck A by clicking on the Q button above the letter A. Now I'm going to get out of browse mode. Now I'm ready to play. So if we look at the jog wheels, they look very similar to a CDJ, and they have a very similar feel. But I actually like the feel of these jog wheels better than CDJs, and it's a lot quicker for me to seek through the track and find the cue point I want and just quickly play the track. I can actually play it by just pushing on the play button. And if I want to seek through the track, I can use the jog wheel. And I'll cue up on the 1, play. Now I can change the speed of the track by using the tempo fader to make the track go faster or slower. And let's say I want to set a loop in the track. I can turn this loop knob here. You can see how the length of the loop is changing on the LED display. So now, if I push this button, it's going to set an 8-beat loop in my track. Okay. Now I'm going to play another track. Now I'm going to actually click on the number 1. This will actually jump to cue point number 1, which is right at the beginning of the track. Now that the track's playing, I can use the side of the jog wheel to adjust. So I'll let you hear how that sounds. So that track is off, it's train wrecking. I can adjust the mix by just pushing on the side of this jog wheel until it's locked. Now, one of the cool things about Traktor Pro S4 is the new syncing abilities. So if you have the sync button on all the time, each time you load a track, it's going to actually sync the BPMs of the deck you just loaded into to the deck that's playing. So essentially all you have to do is hit play, nudge the track a little bit, and once it's completely synced, as long as the analyzation is correct of the BPMs, and it's going to stay on sync and you won't ever have to adjust it afterwards. And most of the time Traktor is pretty spot on about their BPM analyzation. So this makes it a lot easier to match beats and focus on more creative things with the controller. So now let's say I want to jump around the tracks a little bit and kind of get into the main part of the track. So let's say I turn the loop knob and set the value to 32 beats. I can then go to the beat jump knob and turn the knob to skip forwards and backwards through the track by 32 beats. You'll notice there's no skipping audio. So you can see how easy it is to take tracks that you have, and because of Traktor's syncing feature, you don't really have to worry about beat matching so much, and you can do more creative things like beat jumps, looping, hitting cue points to jump around the track, and then you can use effects and more advanced things, which I'll talk about in the next video. This is DJ Endo at Dubspot.